Welcome back to another episode of the AA Sports Podcast. My name's Art here with my brother Alex.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Alex, we had a UFC Fight Night card on Saturday night. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Helps out the podcast. We had Curtis Blaydes taking on Derrick Lewis. And Derrick Lewis dropped a bomb on us.
I told you don't underestimate the Black Beast.
You were going for the Black Beast, and you called it. You take it away. You called it.
I mean, let me tell you, it looked like Curtis Blaydes was fighting a good fight. Let me tell you, he had Derrick Lewis on the back foot. It seemed like he looked really sharp on the feet as well. I thought he was getting the better of Derrick Lewis in the first two rounds. You know what I mean? It looked like he was catching him with some good shots. Caught him with a leg kick that looked like really hurt him. But in that, it seemed like little by little, though, Derrick Lewis was, throwing a knee. He was throwing those front kicks. He knew that at some point Curtis Blaydes was going to try to shoot in.
Yeah.
And I thought as well, he was going to try to catch him shooting in. It's very difficult to do that. You got to time it perfectly. And boy, did he time it perfectly.
Yes, he
landed
did.
an upper. I mean, he got full leverage on that one, man. He really loaded up on it. And once Derrick Lewis shot in, I mean, he caught him flush, and then he landed another like 3 punches while he was down. I don't know what possessed Derrick Lewis to do that to him, but hey, I'm all for it.
Hey, Herb Dean needs to jump in there quickly. Quicker.
Yeah.
You said Curtis Blaydes landed the shot. It was Derrick Lewis.
I mean, Derrick Lewis landed the shot. Everybody knows.
People knows, yeah. And dude, like you said, Blaydes was doing so good on the feet. You think, in hindsight, yes, it was a mistake going for the takedown because that's what got him knocked out. But he didn't have to go for the takedown.
He didn't have to.
He was
looking good on the feet.
And I think his length and his range is what really threw off Derrick Lewis because Lewis couldn't find that range.
Yeah.
He couldn't get close enough. And he did land one big right hand that early on that kind of drove Curtis Blaydes back, But for the most part, Curtis Blaydes was dominating in the stand-up game. And the one time he tries to use his wrestling, he gets knocked out. Before the fight, talk to the people who didn't watch the interview of Derrick Lewis before the fight.
Yeah, Derrick Lewis, he got interviewed by the UFC, and he was making fun of Curtis Blaydes. He says the UFC asked Derrick Lewis, what are you looking to do in this fight? And Derrick Lewis is like, well, I'm gonna look to take him down. I'm an All-American wrestler now. And, the UFC was like, no, this is a serious interview. Like, what do you think you're going to do? And he's like, well, that's what I'm going to do. And I don't know if he was pissed off at Curtis Blaydes. I don't know if Curtis Blaydes might have said something, but it looked like he was real ticked off because, I mean, after he knocked him out, Derrick Lewis was telling him to suck it. And, I don't know what possessed him to do that. That's why I feel maybe some words were exchanged. Something happened. But yeah, I'm glad Derrick Lewis pulled it off. He pulled off he was a plus 350. 350. That's the what is it? The biggest upset in a UFC main event since Michael Bisping versus Luke Rockhold.
Dude, that was like 4 years ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, I think that was the same night as No, never mind. I thought it was the same night as Conor McGregor versus Aldo, but I think it was.
It might have been.
No, I think that was Luke Rockhold versus Chris Weidman.
Oh,
when he beat Weidman that time. So
for the title, that's right.
Yeah. So all in all, you know what? It was a devastating shot by Derrick Lewis. I was waiting to see if he took his trunks off. I wanted to see him say some crazy stuff on the mic like he always does. I'm telling you, man, Derrick Lewis he may not be the most skilled guy, but boy, does he pack some power. I think he's got the most knockout wins in UFC history. And the heavyweight division.
Wow. This guy is impressively strong.
Yeah. He called out Stipe Miocic. He says that he doesn't like wrestlers. I don't know what. I guess the wrestler's been saying some stuff to Derrick Lewis that all you got to do is take him down and after that, you got the win in the bag. But Derrick Lewis is having no part of that.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Daniel Cormier is one of the best of all time. So
yeah,
there's no shame in that. But aside from that, I mean, Derrick Lewis has had a successful, I think, UFC career. So speaking of what's next, I mean, Miocic is the champion. This was a fight between two top 5 guys. I mean, Derrick Lewis, has he put himself in the mix for a title shot?
You know what? It's tough to say. I think he has. I mean, it depends. You know, he called out John Jones because he's saying that John Jones is gonna move up, but we don't know if John Jones is gonna get a title shot his first fight at heavyweight. I'm sure he will. I don't think they're gonna, risk John Jones taking a loss at heavyweight, in his first fight, or if there's gonna be a risk, they would rather take, him fighting for the belt. And if he loses in a title shot, well then okay,
Yep.
But I don't think they'll put him in there with anybody that's gonna risk knocking him out. You know what I mean? So he called out John Jones, called out Stipe. I would like to see a rematch with him and Francis Ngannou. If it's, if this is the type of fight we're gonna see, if we're gonna see two guys that want to swing, want to go at it, I mean, I'm all for that one.
Because Ngannou's been a different guy since that fight too.
Yeah, I feel like he learned from the Stipe fight when he gassed out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so hopefully he's
What did he learn? I got to get these guys out in the first round because he just goes after guys to try to take their head off right away.
People don't understand Francis Ngannou. They're lucky he's not, a great wrestler. Because if he was a great wrestler, this guy's strength is off the charts. You know what I mean? Like this guy, he can pretty much just dismantle people with his brute strength. He doesn't even need to have all those technical moves on the ground, all that type of stuff. He can literally pick you up and slam you if he wanted to, but he just doesn't
and you're not going to get him off.
Yeah, and you're not going to get him off because, he's just strong as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, so I'm sure the heavyweights are glad that he's not really a wrestling type of heavyweight. He likes to stand. And, I hope we get to watch these. You know what? To me, at least, I think Derrick Lewis is a fan friendlier guy. A lot of people were giving Curtis Blaydes the whole, all you do is take guys down, but you're a boring fighter to watch. A lot of the media was telling him that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if maybe that's what drove Curtis Blaydes to make it a stand-up fight in those 2 rounds. But he looked good on the...
It worked.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked sharp on his feet as well. So, he was also on, a 6-fight win streak? Was it a 6-fight win streak?
4 or 5, I think.
Yeah, it was like a 4 or 5 win streak. He was on the come up. So for Derrick Lewis to take him out like that, it was a good win for Derrick Lewis.
Now, excuse me, to switch back to Curtis Blaydes has one more fight on his UFC contract, according to him. Okay. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for Alexander Volkov to fight Curtis Blaydes. And, if Curtis Blaydes is not going to resign, I think Volkov can beat him and move into that top 5 range and really, make a claim for a title shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Derrick Lewis just won, so for him to fight somebody like Volkov, who he's already beat, right?
Yeah, he's already beat him.
But I mean, it's pretty much taking a step back because Volkov is ranked behind him. It doesn't make sense to me. So I think Derrick Lewis against the winner of Stipe and Ngannou.
Yeah,
would be a fair fight.
He called out Alistair Overeem. I don't know why he called him out. I think Alistair Overeem was talking some smack about Derrick Lewis, and Derrick Lewis said that he wants to clap them cheeks. So, that's just certain things that this guy says. That's why I love to watch him, man. It's funny because he has no filter. This guy has no filter.
And he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
On the undercard, honestly, I didn't really watch any of the undercard fights except for Andrei Arlovski against Tom Aspinall because I heard some great things about Aspinall. Arlovski's, of course, MMA. Can we call him a legend?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could. Yeah. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, Aspinall, man, he took down Arlovski, got his back in a weird way. He just kind of like, if you go watch it, Arlovski was up against the cage. Aspinall kind of just forced himself between the cage and Arlovski, got his back, slipped in a choke, and before he was even close to going out, Arlovski just tapped. it was just so weird. But Aspinall did look good in that fight. Congrats to him. I think he's going to be a heavyweight contender very, not soon, I guess, because the UFC takes forever to develop guys. But we could see him in a couple of years, maybe fighting for a heavyweight title. You didn't see any results on the undercard that you liked?
No. I know somebody got a flying knee knockout. There was some good knockouts on that undercard. I just... we had our hands tied as well with having to watch the boxing, having to watch. I felt like we kind of watched more the more important fights per se. We had to watch the ESPN boxing fights. There was fights on Showtime, so and they were all kind of on at the same time. So
what sucks is like you have the undercards on ESPN Plus for boxing, and then you had this on the UFC on ESPN Plus at the same time. So. It was a little too much.
Yeah. I really thought this was going to be like on Fox or something. You know what I mean? Like, how they did Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar? Yeah, or on ABC or whatever the case.
Hey, well, real quick, this is a quick little side note. Did you hear about Paulo Costa turning down his fight against, I forgot who, Whitaker, I believe? It was supposed to be on ABC. They were going to push it back 7 days, so he was going to get an extra 7 days, and they turned that down.
Really?
That's what I read.
You know what? I didn't read that, or I didn't see that. But what I did see was the negotiations for George Masvidal and Kamaru Usman looked like they fell apart.
Really?
That's what it looks like to me.
Okay.
Kamaru Usman put out a tweet saying that he doesn't feel generous anymore. He's basically said, screwed Masvidal and his team, and I don't know exactly what's going on with that. So hopefully,
Usman wants to get paid.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah. I mean, what are we looking forward to now? John Blachowicz and Israel Adesanya.
Jan Blachowicz against Israel Adesanya, I believe, is in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. March 6th,
right? Okay.
We'll check the calendar to see if there's anything on next week. But thank you guys for watching this episode of the AA Sports Podcast. If you guys haven't already, go check out our boxing recap, because there was some great fights great boxing fights over the weekend also. So make sure you guys check that out, and just check back during the week for our previews to what's going on next week. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace out, guys.